I'm aware of the attempts to make some shady dealings behind the scenes. Evil cannot be trusted. Ask Prigozhin if one bets on Putin's promises.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky delivered a scathing speech at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, where he tried to convince attendees that a defeat of Russia in Ukraine would benefit the entire world. He opened his speech by raising the specter of World War III, saying the world had a chance to bring about peace by forcing Russia to withdraw from Ukraine and that he would present his plans for that on Wednesday. Zelensky stated that while Ukraine was made to give up its nuclear weapons after the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia should have been the country forced to surrender its nukes. He also warned world leaders against making deals with Russia on the sidelines of the UN. President Zelensky said he had already outlined a peace formula in his video message at last year's summit. The Ukrainian peace formula is poised to offer solutions and steps that will solve all forms of weaponization that Russia used against Ukraine and other countries, he continued. As the Russian envoy in the UN hall appeared to scroll on his phone, Zelensky accused Russia of weaponizing food and energy as part of its war on Ukraine. Russia is allegedly using the tactic to force other countries to recognize Ukrainian territories as part of Russia. Zelensky also brought attention to Ukrainian children taken to Russia during the conflict. Ahead of speaking at the UN Security Council on Wednesday, Zelensky said it was down to all nations, not just the world's biggest holders of power, to come together for peace.
We must act united to defeat the aggressor and focus all our capabilities and energy on addressing these challenges.
He also stated that a global peace summit was being planned and invited all delegates to attend, saying unity should not be discussed behind closed doors. Ahead of his speech, Zelensky also questioned why Russia was still a member of the UN following the invasion last year. On Monday, Ukraine dismissed all 6 of its deputy defense ministers over accusations of corruption in procurement and war profiteering, while earlier Tuesday, U.S. President Joe Biden called for the UN to stand up to Russia's naked aggression.
Russia believes that the world will grow weary and allow it to brutalize Ukraine without consequence. But I ask you this: if we abandon the core principles of the United States to appease an aggressor, can any member state in this body feel confident that they are protected? If you allow Ukraine to be carved up, is the independence of any nation secure? I'd respectfully suggest the answer is no. We have to stand up to this naked aggression today and deter other would-be aggressors tomorrow. That's why the United States, together with our allies and partners around the world, will continue to stand with the brave people of Ukraine as they defend their sovereignty and territorial integrity and their freedom.
Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us. This is an important time for Ukraine. And indeed, as you pointed out earlier today, it's an important time for the world that's watching what's going on in Ukraine right now. Earlier today, you watched President Biden address the United Nations General Assembly. He called on the world to stand up to Russia's aggression. And he was very poignant in his statement. But amid some declining support for Ukraine right now, how do you convince people in the United States and indeed around the world how important it is to support your fight?
Thanks so much. First of all, thank you for strong messages from President Biden. Today I was there in assembly and I heard his message. Thanks for him, and that's for me. I don't know if I'm right. I can't tell you, but I think that his messages they go from heart from all the Americans. Mostly, I understand that there are different minds. Yes, in English or different.
Different opinions.
Yeah, there are different opinions. But anyway, we are thankful for this long period of this tragedy. From first days of full-scale war, President Biden, with all the American nation, been on our side, and I'm very thankful. And I'm here today not only because of the invitation to General Assembly. I'm thankful to invitation. And I said just to General Secretary, I'm thankful to all the people that you gave me possibility to fight against Russian propaganda, because I had online messages during the war. I couldn't come, but I had this possibility, and I'm thankful. And the second reason I'm here to be thankful to all the people of America, to journalists, to people, to soldiers who trained, gave training missions for our soldiers. Yesterday, for example, from the airport, I went directly to the hospital. It's not about some public meeting. It's not about this, it's not about politics. It's about these people. I saw our guys there without legs, arms, but with their brains, with their eyes, with their hearts, and they are ready to come back. The doctor told me that they are ready to come back to Ukraine, and they are really heroes. And that's why I'm also was thankful to doctors. So that is the reason of my visit. So what can I say to American people in English? My English is poor to say all my messages and all my thanks to you. I'm sorry for just these poor words, but I think you can recognize and you can understand from my words my attitude to you and my attitude, the attitude of Ukrainians to American society. But don't lose the time. You gave us such huge support in difficult period, and this period, because of the Russian aggression, it didn't stop. We are on the finishing line. I'm sure that we hear their voices on the front line, and we hear them, and they are demotivated. The Russians are demotivated. They're afraid of us, and all Putin wants now, all things he wants us really to push United States to change the minds of society, to push EU partners to change the mind of the people of EU countries. He understood that only by propaganda he can not win. He cannot to lose this war.
Let's go through some of the specifics.
Yeah,
and first of all, your English is very good, and you speak from the heart, because this is so painful, so powerful for you as the leader of Ukraine, and it was so moving when you went to the hospital yesterday to see those wounded soldiers. I must say that. Let's talk specifically right now on some of the major issues. The Ukrainian military counteroffensive against Russia. You say Ukraine needs to keep advancing, even if it's less than 100 yards or so. You need to keep on fighting. Is a major breakthrough on the military front possible this year?
I think nobody knows, really. But I think that we will have more success. And really, we see it now on the east direction. We didn't want, publicly to communicate some successful steps previously, because we didn't want, Russia to understand what we do and what we really prepared. But it's really difficult direction south because of the totally mined, fields, that our farmers, they lost legs, arms. A lot of people were killed just on the farmer lands because Russian, they totally mined everything. They understood, they knew that soldiers will not go somewhere, that when we will deoccupy any villages, that farmers will come back to their houses, to their fields. They knew about it, but they mined it because they just wanted to kill people. That's it. To do people afraid of their terror. But anyway, on the south, really totally mined fields. But we go slowly, but we go forward. Very important information, that initiative in our arms, in all the directions. It shows how it's changed. 1 year ago, really, we by the strength of the wall, but anyway, we defended, we stood up, yeah. Ми стояли, так?
Standing on our grounds.
Yeah, we've been standing on our grounds, and some directions we went back because it was huge pushing from Russia. But now, in those directions, we stopped, and mostly in all the directions, we began to go forward. And that means that initiative in our arms. Я можу додати українською, якщо потрібно.
I can add something in Ukrainian.
Якщо можна. кілька
If
деталей.
I may,
На
some
сході
details.
нашої держави
In the east
повинні
of our
всі
country,
уявити,
everyone
200
should imagine
тисяч російських
there are
вбивців,
200,000 of
200
Russian soldiers.
і військові, і найманці,
That-
і терористи,
They have
і сепаратисти.
mercenaries,
Біля 200
military, all sorts.
Це велика кількість.
It's a
І там, на
huge
сході,
number.
ми почали
And
йти
in the
вперед.
east,
І ми
we
деокупували
started
3,
pushing them back.
зараз 3 маленьких містечка. І
We
це зараз
liberated 3
упродовж
small towns
2 тижнів. І
during
я
last
вважаю,
2
що у
weeks.
нас буде успіх.
And I think
Головне
that
не
we will
послаблювати
achieve
підтримку
success.
Україні, а нам не
But
втратити
we
віру в
have
наших
to
партнерів
have
і моральний дух.
the support of our
На
partners,
півдні, як я
and
сказав,
we have to
так,
keep
все
our moral high.
заміновано дуже сильно.
Everything
Дуже
is
сильно
mined, like I
заміновано.
said.
Але тим не
It's
менш, навіть там
huge
ми
problem.
йдемо вперед.
But even there, we are
Those
advancing.
mines are a huge problem for the Ukrainian military forces, to be sure. Do you think the Ukrainian military counteroffensive would have been stronger, more successful, if the U.S. and the other Western allies had provided some sophisticated weapons more sooner, weapons that you've been pleading for a long time?
Ви повинні зрозуміти,
You have to
і
understand.
наші американські друзі,
Our American friends,
люди, яких ми так цінуємо,
People
і які
who we
є наш
value.
міць і скарб.
and who
Не
are
можна їх просто
our
кидати
treasure,
під
we cannot
далекобійну
abandon
зброю
them.
Росії. У нас
We
немає
just
цієї
cannot throw them under the barrels of Russian
Росія
guns.
стріляє по нас зі 100 кілометрів, з 80
Russia
кілометрів.
is
Ми не
shooting
можемо
us from all
їх
directions.
І це факт. І тому ви розумієте, що
And
люди, які
you understand that
мотивовані,
people
навіть вони
who are
мотивовані, вони
motivated,
йдуть вперед і знають,
they
що ми не
go
можемо
forward.
дістати зброю Росії,
They
і вони
know
йдуть вперед, і вони
that
знають заздалегідь, знають, що
they
вони не
know
всі
what they're
повернуться.
fighting for.
І це
And
дуже складне завдання. Партнери,
It's a
і Сполучені
difficult task.
Штати, і
And
Європа,
the
вони
United
що можуть
States
зробити?
and Europe,
Я завжди кажу, що
they
ми
they're helping us.
хочемо мати
we want to have
how to compare on the battlefield, to have the same capabilities or possibilities, how to compare long distance artillery. Russia has it, so we just want it. We are not pushing our partners. It's a logic question, yes, to have the same possibilities. And it's not about that. Somebody have to, give all their money or all their weapon they have or to produce very quickly. No, the partners have it. That is the first. When we understood, and we're thankful for decisions about the training mission on the jet, on F-16s, and etc., we're very thankful for this possibility, what President said and gave possibility and pushed this initiative. But we know that jets F-16 will be in soon. But who knows what does it soon? And the price of the soon. I mean that when the training mission will be over and etc., it can be half a year, 8 months, 1 year, 2 years. But we need now something. And that's why we speak about the air defense. We are not speaking about air defense to attack Russia, not attack anybody. We're just speaking about defending missions. Because soldiers, when they go through, they know that their wives and children, they're at home. Just them to give possibility to go and to think about the victory and to think about the battlefield and to think about their lives. Because they, if they want to win, and I'm sure that it will be such way, but if they want to win, they have to concentrate their minds on their lives. To be alive in this moment and to give a possibility to deoccupy our territory. But they think about like everybody. If we can't sit now here and speak, if you know that something can be dangerous with your family, of course we can't speak. You will run away, and that's the idea about air defense shield. We need it. And that is not a question. I didn't come to say, please give us. No. I came to be thankful for those help you did previously. But just to understand the climate of this war, just to understand that we want to finish the war quick as much as possible, because each day we lose people. That's it. No other ideas. No the idea to go to the Russia, to the Moscow, to somewhere, to use American, United States weapon to attack Moscow. We don't need it. Of course, all the people of Ukraine, you know, it's like after any terrorist act, I think you understand. Of course, everybody who lost families, it doesn't matter where you lost it. In New York, in the center of New York, or in Kramatorsk, it doesn't matter. You lost, and that's it. And you never will hear your children. Of course, when you lost your family, you hate Russians or another terrorist. You hate these people, and that's it. And of course, you want to kill them. You took the life of my children. I hate you. But they know that we can't use this weapon against Russia. Otherwise, the partners will stop supporting us. And that's why we just want to save our country. We just want to deoccupy our land, and that's it. Okay.
So what I hear you saying, Mr. President, is you need better air defense systems right now from the U.S. and the other allies.
Yes, air defense system, Petro, thank you very much. We have some, I will not tell you how many batteries we have, because Russia will know it immediately. I mean, that's publicly. But I'm very thankful. Patriots are the best. We also have very good NASAMS, IRIS-T, Hawks. We have different systems, but Patriots are the best because they...
Patriot air defense systems.
Sorry, yes. Patriot air defense systems are the best because they safe, because Patriot air defense against any type of Russian missiles.
And the Russians are still attacking civilian areas in Kyiv and elsewhere throughout the country.
Everywhere.
You need a good air defense system to protect those civilians.
Yes, and if we will have these good air defense systems, enough, maybe not enough, but some of them more, it's just about the people who will come back to Ukraine. It's just, again, about not only about security, it's about economy, because people will come back. They can come with children. They are now abroad in different countries, including Poland, Germany, United States. They will come back, and they will help our economy. And that also will help United States.
Let me ask
United States help us financially supporting us, and you will use less money. Of course.
This will encourage refugees, Ukrainian refugees, to come home.
And they will pay taxes.
Let's talk about a specific military issue. Some U.S. military officials think you're spending too much time going after Russian targets in Crimea and not spending enough time going after various Russian weaknesses in the East specifically that you could break through. You've heard that criticism. Are you in the U.S. on the same page when it comes to military strategy?
Я думаю, що ми однаково розуміємо ситуацію на полі бою. А зі Сполученими Штатами у нас тут немає абсолютно різних поглядів. Є специфіка, ви зрозумієте, що це за ціль. Наприклад, на території тимчасово окупованого Криму знаходиться відповідна зброя, яка звідси дістає наші цивільні міста.
Weapons to kill our civilians. They're shooting from Crimea onto our territory. And of course, we have to see where the rockets are coming from. And we have to basically deal with it. That brings more casualties than sometimes on the battlefield. For instance, in the south of our country. They select all targets, big targets in the south, and clearly they kill a lot of civilians, and they attack our hospitals, our schools.
You're also seeking longer-range ATACMS missiles to deal with this Russian invasion of Ukraine. Will you be disappointed if you leave the United States in the coming days and go back to Ukraine without a firm commitment from the U.S. that the ATACMS will be made available to Ukraine?
Я скажу вам відверто, у мене пройшов час розчарування в цілому.
It will be some
Найбільше
disappointment.
розчарування, що в сучасному світі
My
наші
biggest
сусіди
disappointment
могли піти
is that our
просто
neighbours
піти повномасштабною війною проти нас.
go
Це-
against us with a
Тому
full-blown war.
розчарування більше немає. Це, знаєте, занадто
I don't
романтично
have much
для мене, для
disappointment in life
президента
apart from that.
воюючої держави. Тому це не
That just-
розчарування.
It's not really disappointment as such.
Я просто розумію, що це про
I
кількість
just understand
вбитих людей іде.
that,
Тобто
there
про
are some
кількість
people
втрат.
dying.
А вже ж це
Of course,
буде
this
для нас
be-
втрата, якщо
for us there'll be a
ми не
loss for us
зможемо домовитись
if we
про
won't be able to
ту
get
чи
that
іншу
type
зброю,
of weapon.
яка захищає наших людей. Тому
Which
це
will
не
protect
просто
us.
розчарування. Це
But it's
просто
not
про
disappointment
втрати.
as such.
Щоденні втрати,
It will be just our
щоденні
loss.
втрати в підтримці, це завжди
And
втрати на полі
we-
бою потім.
We will
І не
have
тільки на полі бою.
more
Як я й
casualties
сказав,
on the battlefield
далекобійна
and
зброя,
elsewhere.
я можу сказати
And
відверто, далекобійна
I can say
зброя нам потрібна була,
openly.
перш за все, для Херсона, для міста,
We
яке
needed
було деокуповане.
weaponry
Туди повернулись люди. Ось я вам наведу
liberate
приклад.
Kherson, a
Коли ми
big city in the
деокупували
south.
Херсон,
We
when we
deoccupate
deoccupied
Kherson.
Kherson. It's one of the biggest south cities when we deoccupied it. And before the war, just one point, before the war we had, I don't know, 300, more than 300,000 people there. When we deoccupied it during the war, in Kherson we found about 90,000 people. So, yes, so huge number of losses and deported children, people, etc. But what we needed when we deoccupied it, we needed artillery, long distance, missiles to save Kherson, which was deoccupied. What did Russia? They ran away because they've been afraid when they deoccupied it. On the other bench of river, they ran away on 80, 100 kilometers. And from that point, they began to attack people. And they attacked during 1 year all the civilians, schools, hospitals, universities, they attacked. And now we have there less than 80,000 people. Some been killed, somebody draw away because they can't live there. The children can't go to school. That is the example where the weapon like ATACMS can help. It's not only about the target and about the battlefield. It's mostly for today about how to save civilians. Кожна людина має право на свою
Every person
на
has
свою думку.
its own
І
opinion
Євгеній
and has
Макаров
right
має
to
право
that
на те,
opinion
що він говорить,
and to have
але
right
він
to say
не у
something.
війні.
But
І мені здається, що
comes to war, it's
ми не
different.
можемо,
and I
ми не
think
можемо
that we cannot
порівнювати
compare
виклики всередині будь-якої держави,
challenges
зараз ми
within
говоримо про Сполучені
any
Штати,
country,
будь-якої держави, як і
US
війну на
or not.
території будь-якої держави.
in-
Це не
with
стосується
the
зараз
war
Сполучених
in
Штатів
any given
і
country.
України. Це
It
взагалі
concerns US
складне
and Ukraine.
порівняння. Це
It's a
абсолютно
very
різні
difficult
виклики.
comparison.
Чому? Тому що
It's a totally different
виклики
challenges.
всередині будь-якої держави,
The
економічні
challenges within
виклики,
any country
виклики
they
через
could be different.
кліматичні,
Maybe
якісь
they're climatic
виклики,
changes,
виклики щодо
challenges.
прав людей. Все це
Could be
дуже,
human
дуже,
rights
дуже
challenges.
важливе. Тільки
It's
є
very
одне
important.
але. Одне
But
важливе
one
але.
but exists.
Повірте мені, як людині в війні.
Trust me,
Коли
as
починається
someone
війна,
who lives through war.
всі все забувають. У нас так
It's
було. Всі про
enemy
все
comes to
забувають. Всі
country.
просто захищають дітей.
Everyone forgets about
Ніхто
everything.
ні про що не хоче чути. ні про яку
We
роботу,
don't want
скільки
to
годин хто працює, які
think
права його
about any
захищені,
other
які не
problems,
захищені, що він
which
буде
human
завтра
rights are not
їсти,
protected,
чи
what
дешева
we're
ця
going to eat
енергетика, чи
tomorrow.
вона
Is this energy
дороговартісна,
supply
чи
cheap?
чому є бензин, чому є
do
дефіцит,
we
чому
have
наші дороги
petrol?
гарні, чому вони не
Are
дуже
the
гарні,
roads
що з
good,
податковою
in
у нас
good
системою,
condition?
все це
Or-
равно нулю.
All
Просто
this
равно нулю,
equals zero.
якщо є
Zero.
війна.
If
І тому це
we have war
некоректне
in our country.
порівняння. І
This
безпосередньо
is not
я
correct
не звертаюся до
comparison.
спікера Маккарті. Я просто
I'm not
говорю
addressing the speaker.
не про Америку і
I'm
про
just
Україну.
saying not
Люди,
about America.
всі їх виклики,
People.
всі їх виклики у час миру.
They
Do you want to
basically
meet
need
with
peace.
Speaker McCarthy when you're in Washington?
No, I will meet with him.
You will meet with him.
Yes, of course. But it's so difficult I'm not about that. It's not about clever people or not. It's not about this. It's so difficult to understand when you are in war and when you are not in war. Even when you come to the war, to the country which is in war, when you come to one day, you can understand more than you live, you hear, you think, you read. No, you can't compare. It's different situation. That's why I'm thinking that we can't compare these challenges.
You raised the issue before of elections in America. The former President Trump, he told NBC News on Sunday that he would get, if he were elected president again, he would get you and Putin together and make what he called a fair deal. He said something could have been negotiated with Crimea and other parts of the country. What's your reaction to what he's saying, that he would bring you and Putin together and work out a deal, a fair deal?
Ну, перш за все, я не розумію, в чому
First of all,
деталі його ідеї, тому що
don't
якщо у нього є
see
план,
any
то чого
details in
боятися і для чого чекати, що
What we
буде
fear,
на
what we
виборах. Я думаю,
expect.
так, якщо до виборів ще майже рік у Сполучених Штатів, то тому, якщо
of
у
course, we
нього
have another year before the
реальна
elections in the
smart
US.
idea, він може з нами поділитися. І поділитися
If
зі
he's got
світом.
some
І
smart
мені здається,
ideas,
що
he can
це
share it with us, of
потужна
course.
позиція. Ми не знаємо,
need a strong position,
хто
obviously.
переможе на виборах, але я віддаю
Whoever
ідею,
will
тому що він каже,
win
я віддаю ідею,
the election.
тому що я хочу, щоб
He just
збереглося
puts forward
максимум
this idea.
життів. І тому
Because
він каже, so
That's
he
right.
can publicly share his idea now, not to waste time, not to lose people. Yes, and say that my formula is to stop the war and stop all this tragedy and stop Russian aggression. And he said how he see it, how to push Russian from our land. Otherwise, he is not, presenting the global idea of peace. So the idea is how to take the part of our territory and to give Putin. And that is not the peace formula.
So you're not ready to negotiate a territorial compromise with Putin?
We're not ready. But the question is to Trump, or maybe it's not his idea, or somebody, what United States really ready to give to Putin from your territories, what you are ready to give, but for the possibility not to risk after his public words about nuclear weapon. I don't know if I said correctly in English. I don't know.
You said it correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you mean that he publicly said a lot of times, different times, that he can use nuclear weapon on some territories, on Europe, or maybe another target. What we will decide, he said, what we will decide is correct. So it means that the countries, including United States and EU, countries which are afraid, because people are afraid of such messages, so we are ready to give Putin what he wants. After we will negotiate with Putin, any country, he will give the new list of his wishes. That's it.
And like so many around the world, you believe Putin has engaged in war crimes against the people of Ukraine. So you're understandably not ready to sit down with someone who's accused of war crimes against your people. And you use the word genocide against your people.
That is genocide.
That's what you say. We are out of time, Mr. President. I'm grateful to you for spending some time with us. I just want to wind up. As you know, both of us are Jewish. And right now, we are in the midst of the holiest days of the Jewish New Year. What do you hope will happen in the coming year for you and the people of Ukraine?
Sometimes we think what will be tomorrow, and it's very difficult to say what will be next year. But I can only wish from my side, wish to the world, to American people, to different people, different Jewish people, and different nationalities also. But because all of us, it doesn't matter what nationality we are, all of us, we need peace. And I really wish United States and people of the world, I wish you peace. I wish you to spend time during this year with children, with families, just with parents, and it's with such things and such people which are, we think that it's so close, that they are near, and they will be with us all our life. It's not truth that you know such tragedy or such war can come, and you will understand the price of these people and the price of this time. So I really wish not to lose this sweet time.
How are you doing? This is our final question, Mr. President.
Yeah.
How are you doing, and how is your family doing?
My wife is with me. She's with me. She came also with me to United States, and my children are in Kiev. They are always with us, with my wife. We lived not together. We live not together. Lived, it's also correct, not together.
For security reasons.
For security, only for security reasons. But when I have any possibility to meet and як обійняти? Hug? Oh, sorry. Hug. Yes, just to kiss and hug. It's enough.
Yeah, of course.
It's great.